this video, I'm going to show you how you turn this scratched up Xbox jewel or emblem into this beautiful transparent diamond. Now, in the very first video I ever made, I put some PC components into an Xbox that was broken so that I could make a home theater PC or an HTPC. I quickly went over how I made this Xbox emblem or jewel transparent. It was an interesting process, and in this video I want to show you how I did it. And the thing I liked about it being transparent is that the blue LEDs from the motherboard would shine through, so it looked really cool in the dark or at night. And then I found this computer thrown away in a ditch. I resurrected it, found another old Xbox that was broken, and decided to put it in. However, this time it was a gaming PC, and I was so busy doing all the components that I decided to just leave the top emblem the same. I've decided to repurpose this case, and in doing so, I decided to take the emblem off and make it transparent, as I did in the previous video. And of course, you'll have to stay tuned to see what I do with this case. So, step 1. Take a heat gun and heat it up on the back, and I do that for maybe around 4 to 5 minutes. Flip it around and also heat up the emblem itself. There's a thick adhesive on the back that you really need to heat up quite well because it is very sticky. I tried to use a plastic pick, and in the end I ended up scratching the top, but that's okay because now I can show you how I can take that scratch off in case you have an emblem that is damaged. Now, people will automatically think the screwdriver is a very bad idea, but as long as you pry up and you don't do any twisting, you won't make any big gouges in the back. And I'll show you once it's done. It actually looks pretty good. So all you got to do is just pry up one side and you'll hear that adhesive kind of tear and rip. You want to be gentle so obviously you do not break the jewel itself. And throughout the process I do heat it up in between just to make sure the adhesive stays warm. Comes off, and you can see how thick that adhesive is on the back. You don't have to do exactly what I do, but the next thing I do is I just simply scrape off the giant pieces of adhesive, and this is where I do use a plastic tool. You can start sanding at this point, but I find it gums up the sandpaper quite a bit, so I use some isopropyl alcohol to take off the remainder of the adhesive. You can see that the emblem is just simply painted on the back. I use a 220 grit sandpaper first just to take the initial layer of paint off. Some people will disagree with this because you can add some extra deeper gouges, but for my purposes it works just fine and it's a lot faster. I'll take some 1500 grit sandpaper and I'll wet sand this. And it just takes a few minutes. Get this nice translucent appearance. I guess at that point you could keep it like that if you like that particular look, but I'm going to go one step further. And in this case, I use this Blue Magic metal polish. Metal polish adds some very fine abrasion, and it works really well. Usually I'd use a cotton towel or microfiber cloth, but in this case all I had was paper towel. It still works. And the more you work at this, obviously the more of the finer scratches you can slowly get out, but you can quickly see here, in a few minutes, it's getting clearer and clearer. Now this final product, it does have some micro scratches everywhere, but again, for the purposes of how I'm doing it, this will work fine. I plan to backlight it with some green LEDs, so it should look beautiful. You can actually spray paint the back again, and you can make this any color you want. Well, I hope this video helps anybody who's trying to go about this kind of modification, and this is my technique. And if you made it this far, it's time for the joke of the day. Did you hear about the restaurant on the moon? It's great food. No atmosphere though. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next Ladybug adventure.